Today I'm making a wooden Pokeball. Hi everyone. Now this is a 3.5-inch wooden spear which I bought from Michaels. You see the price, but I bought it with a coupon and it came about $5. Not bad. Tomorrow is Halloween and my son's school has this fun tradition where all the students wear costumes, nothing serious or scary, and they walk around the track. Let me just stop and explain what I'm doing right now. So my first challenge was cutting it in half. I pulled out my mini table saw. If you saw my last video, that's the one I mentioned as a good indoor alternative to a regular table saw. But as I was about to cut, I started to worry that I wouldn't get a perfectly straight line, so I decided to put it away for now. But don't worry, it will make a comeback later for an important role. So instead I went with a back saw since the rigid blade gives a straight cut. So I actually picked one up from Harbor Freight. It was about like $8 with a coupon. Not bad at all. Right now I'm using my hacksaw to make a guide because the spear was too big for my miter box. So coming back to the story why I began to make this. So my son couldn't decide what to be until the very last minute. And finally he said he said I will be Ash from Pokemon. So I told him perfect, I will make you a Pokeball. So here I am making a Pokeball. Now I'm almost at the end of cutting the spear in half. And voila. It took me a while, but I really like how it turned out. The cut is really straight. I really loved it. And now we need a hinge. So for the hinge, I used a small barrel hinge, which was left over from a previous project. So I'll make a touch-up video for that one later. And I think this is perfect for the Pokeball. I am pre-drilling the holes right now, so I don't mess up. I started with a small bit first, and then moved up to a bigger one. So when my wife saw me making this Pokeball, she said, "Why don't you just buy one?" But I told her, "Where's the fun in that? It'll be way cooler to make one, and it will be cheaper too." Which later turned out to be not true at all, and you will see what I mean by that at the end of this project. By the way, this is the first video in a multi-part series on making this wooden Pokeball. I originally thought I could finish it in one day, but it turned out into a several-day project. So this video covers the first day, hence the title The Beginning. Now I'm drilling another hole for the hinge and ended up drilling two more because the first ones were too far from the edge for it to open properly. And it looks good. So far so good. Now rather than just making a wooden Pokeball for display, I wanted to add a cool feature, something that would light up when it senses movement. I had an extra cloth light from a bulk pack I bought a while ago. I took it apart and removed the little LED panel. Then I traced the panel onto the wood so I could carve out a space for it. Ideally, I would have used a Porcelain bit and a chisel, but I didn't have either, so I just used a regular drill bit. And it took me some time to finish it, but I finally carved it to the depth I wanted and it turned out just right. Now I arranged the LED panel so the charging port would be near the edge. I also wanted to use the cover from the closet light to protect the LED panel inside the Pokeball. But as you can see, it caused more trouble than it was worth. So I decided to scrap that idea. Now I am carving out a small section so that the charger could fit in neatly. Usually I would use a chisel for this, but I didn't. Again, I didn't have the chisel at the time, so I am using my knife. Now you might be wondering what happened with my son. Now, by the time I was filming this, he was sick. Actually, he was sick for several days, and we were really hoping that he'd feel better by the Halloween time, so that he could go back to school. But unfortunately, he didn't make it that day. Nah, don't worry, he's okay now. And he was able to go back to school the following week. So it was unfortunate, and then he was really bummed out. But fortunately for me, that gave me a little more time to work on the Pokeball. And I promised him that I'd make a better version, not just a simple decorative one. Now the charging port section is done. I am securing the panel onto the wood with screws. Now at this point, I was only thinking about adding the light up panel as a special feature for the Pokeball. Now to tell you the truth, I didn't really have a full picture in my head of how this would turn out. I was just figuring things out as I went, making adjustments to fit whatever came up. You will see later on that there were quite a few improvisation along the way. So if you ever want to replicate this build, which would be a huge honor for me, I suggest waiting until the final video, because the finished result ends up looking very different from what you see here in the part 1. Now if you are bothered by the little holes here and there from the mistake I made, now trust me, I thought the same thing. But don't worry, I was planning to patch them up and paint later, so just ignore them for now. And now the LED panel is secured and the charging port works, and the hinge, although I will still need to adjust it to make it tighter, is in place. The next step was figuring out how to close the Pokeball. My first thought was to use a magnet, but what do you know? The closet light I took apart already had one built in it. So I decided to repurpose that magnet instead. What you see is that magnet. After taking it apart, I found that it was actually a small rectangular magnet. The round metal piece was just a shell that held the magnet inside. What you see here is the rectangular magnet, and I was planning to place it right in that spot. Now for the other side, I decided to use a small screw so that it would attach to the magnet when the Pokeball closes. So I carved out a small space for the magnet and used superglue to hold it in place. And I also got the superglue from Harbor Freight, just like a lot of tools I use. As you might have guessed by now, that's my go-to store for just about everything. If my channel ever takes off, who knows, maybe I will get sponsored by Harbor Freight. And now that would be the day. What I'm doing right now is pre-drilling, especially the part for the head of the screw. If you skip this step, the wood might split. I've learned that hard way from past mistakes. Now everything is secure, and the magnet catches the screw, and with that, I was done for the day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.